Hello guys, today's video we are talking about the chapter 2 on Introduction to the Internet. Chapter 2, Configure a Network Operating System. So as you can see in this stuff, we already opened the activity for this chapter. So before that, let's have read this introduction about chapter. So every computer requires an operating system to function, including computer-based network devices such as switches, routers, access points, and firewalls. These network devices use an operating system called a network operating system. So, a network operating system enables device hardware to function and provide an interface for a user to interact. In the CCNA course of study, students learn to configure both devices that connect to the network and devices such as PC and devices that connect networks together and or intermediary devices like router and switches. So, learning to configure the Cisco Inter-Network Operating System or the Cisco IOS on the Cisco routers and switches is a large part of the Cisco seasoning program of the study. So then, the Cisco Inter-Network Operating System or the IOS is a generic name for the collection of network operating system used by Cisco networking devices. Cisco IOS is used for the most Cisco device regardless of the type or size. So now that we had done in reading the introduction about chapter 2, we are now proceeding to the first activity on this chapter, and that will be the, the access method. So here is the instruction for this activity. So let's read this. Select the most appropriate access method for each scenario. So this is, we had a four scenario on this activity. So the first scenario will be you are in the equipment room with the new switch that needs to be configured. So as you can see, you are in the equipment room with the new switch that needs to be configured. You're in the equipment room, so probably this will be the console or the console for it because equipment room don't have the need network or the other intermediary devices to configure the switch. You only need to use the console port. So for the next scenario or scenario number 2, your manager gives you a special cable and tells you to use it to configure the switch. So for this one, the answer is the console again because this is the clue for this scenario, special cable, and tells you to is to configure the switch. So as you can see, you don't have the need of intermediary devices over a network to configure the switch. So for the third scenario, you access the IS by using another intermediary device over a network connection. So for this one, this will be the telnet or the secure shell or SSH because now in configuring the switch or accessing the iOS, we need the help of intermediary devices over a network connection. So for the first scenario, you call your manager to tell him you cannot access your router in another suite over the internet. He provides you with the information to access the router through a telephone communication. So for this one, the answer will be the aux because this cannot be the console port or the telnet or secure shell because if it's console port, you are in that particular area and you need a physical to configure or will be using the console port. And if it's the telnet or secure shell, you will use the intermediary devices over a network. But for this one, information, he provides you with an information to access the router through a telephone communication. So this the possible answer will be the X. So let's try if it's all our answers are correct. So let's check it. So now we successfully match the most appropriate access method to each scenario. So all of this, all of our answer are correct for each scenario. So now that we are done in answering the first activity or the access method activity, let's proceed to the other activity that will be the configuring password encryption. So before we start in this activity, let's read this. So encrypt password. The start config and running config file display most password in plain text. This is a security threat since anyone can see the password used if they have access to this file. So to encrypt password, use the service password encryption global configuration command. So to encrypt all the plain text password that will be the threat for the security, use the command service password encryption. So the command applies weak encryption to all unencrypted password. This encryption applies only to password in the configuration file, not to password as they are sent over the network. The purpose of this command is to keep an authorized individual from viewing password in the configuration file. So use the command use show running config command to verify the password are now encrypted. So use the command service password encryption and you want to verify that your password will be encrypted or you're successfully using service password encryption, use the command show running configuration to verify that the password are encrypted. So let's proceed to this activity. So the first one that we will do will be the enter the command to encrypt the plain text. So as we read earlier, to encrypt all the plain text password that we had, we will use the command service password encryption. And then next one, exit global configuration mode and view the running configuration mode. So we'll be exiting it by putting exit command. Then to show the running configuration mode, we will use the command show running config. So this is the running configuration mode. This is the running configuration mode. Then as you can see, all the password that we had will be encrypted like this one and this one because we use the command service password encryption. Then we are verifying that we are successfully configuring or encrypting all the plain text password by using the command show running configuration. And then as you can see for this one, we are successfully encrypt all the plain text password that we have, like this one and this one. So now guys that we had done in configuring password encryption, let's move on for the other activity which will be the limit access to a switch. So this is the guideline for the limit the access to a switch. So first of all, encrypt all password. So for encrypting, we will use again the service password encryption and then secure the privilege access with the password CLA50. So we use the enable secret, then the given password CLA55, and then the next one secure the console line. So for securing the console line, we will use the command line console 0 and then use the password Cisco. Remember that this is not 0. This is not a letter O but 0. So use the password Cisco, then allow login, and then the next one, secure the first 16 BTY lines. So again, we will use the password Cisco and the login. So for doing that, input input the command line BTY 0 to 15. So as you can see, it's correct. But in this guideline, they said that in the first 16 BTY lines. So if you are confusing because I am using 15, only 15, then the start of the count will begin at 0. So if you count 0 to 15, this will be the 16. So let's proceed. And then we will use again the password given by the guideline Cisco. And then allow login again. And now we have successfully limited access to a switch. So now that we have limit access to a switch and we are um, done in all of this, let's proceed to the other activity or the last activity for this chapter, and that will be the configure a switch virtual interface. So again, this is the guideline or the instruction on how to configure a switch virtual interface. So let's do it. First, enter interface configuration mode for VLAN 1. So use the command interface VLAN 1 as we use the guideline, and then the next one, configure the IPv4 address as 192.168.10.2 and the subnet mask as 255.255.255.0, and configure that or this IPv4 stands for Internet Protocol version 4. So use the command IP address, then the given IP address, the 1.6.10.2, then the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Enable enable the interface, we use the no shutdown. Now that interface VLAN change state up to switch, you have successfully configured the switch virtual interface for VLAN 1. Now that we have done in configure a switch virtual interface, and we are done in all the activity that we had on this chapter, let's proceed for the summary of this chapter. So, chapter 2, configure a network operating system summary. For this chapter, or the summary of this chapter, it will be the Cisco IOS is a term that encompasses a number of different operating systems which runs on various network devices. The technician can enter the command to configure or program the device to perform various network functions. Cisco IOS routers and switch perform functions that network professionals depend upon to make their network operate as expected. The series provided by the Cisco IOS are accessed during command line interface or the CLI, which is accessed by either the console port, the aux port, or through secure shell or SSH or Telnet. After connected to the command line interface or the CLI network, network technician can make configure changes to a Cisco IOS devices. The Cisco IOS is designed as a model operating system, which means a network technician must navigate through various hierarchical modes of the IOS. Each mode supports a different IOS command. So the Cisco iOS routers and switches support a similar model operating system, support similar command structures, and support many of the same command. In addition, both devices have identical initial configuration steps when implementing them in a network. This chapter introduced the Cisco IOS. It detailed the various modes of the Cisco IOS and examined the basic command structure that is used to configure it. It also walked through the initial settings of a Cisco IOS switch device, including setting a name, limiting access to the device configure, and configuring manual message and saving the configuration. And then, now that we are done in doing all the activities of the chapter 2, and we had this summary, um, hope guys that you will like my video and you gain a certain knowledge about this chapter, configuring a network operating system, and hope that I will be a big help to you if you had choosing the path of being a network engineer or all about networking. Then please free to watch my video, and thank you for your time. So thank you guys. Um, Bye.